Hi, this is Katie,
And I'm Sam.
and this is Hope and Ever Since. So, to go along more with our top five ways you can be an advocate, we're going to go into a little bit more detail. So, the first one was educate yourself and others. So, obviously, that is sort of the purpose of videos.
Right.
Um, but I personally have been looking a lot into specific things because I don't know how exactly I want to say this. I'm just gonna go with quirks. I hope when my daughter looks at this later, she won't be insulted by that. But especially having a son who's 3 years younger, we have been able to do a little bit of comparison and contrast. I know you're not really supposed to compare your kids, but there is, certain things you easily compare. And so certain things that so I was looking into like she has a bit of hard time going to sleep and that's a thing. And she has a bit time, she is a little bit I wouldn't even say she's definitely not a picky eater. And if you
No.
have something like this, it's not being picky. That's one thing I really learned is like do not call your kid a picky. It's not being picky. It's really has a lot to do with what's going on with their brain. And I never even thought she was that picky, but she is like a little bit like into like I just want to eat certain kinds of foods all
Right.
the time, and not as open to trying new foods. And yeah, that's obviously a thing. So, just looking into certain things like that, like how can I help her with this in mind? And so to get in a little bit more into educating though, I would like to just go over what is sensory processing disorder, or you can also call it difficulties. If you don't like the word disorder, you can say difficulty. I'm going to use difficulty from now on because I don't like the word disorder.
Yeah.
So, sensory processing difficulties is a neurological condition. And I'm reading this straight off of our blog, by the way. We have a blog. It is a neurological condition where the brain has trouble organizing and responding to sensory information. This means a child might overreact, underreact, or have difficulty integrating sensory experiences such as touch, sound, movement, taste, and smell. SPD can affect motor skills, social interactions, emotional regulation, and daily activities. So, the interesting thing I got from the first thing that I found really interesting is the underreacting, right? I think that is why we probably missed a lot of this
Yeah.
because she does that more. Like, you always hear about the kids who, like, with the sounds and whatever, they're overreacting to stuff like that, right? But I think she was one of the more ones that underreacted to stuff and, like, sort of buried things and masked things possibly a little bit. And so I think that's why we missed some stuff because it not until it was like becoming like really obvious that there was something going on, you know?
Yeah.
So I found that interesting. Is there anything that you've been finding in your research that you've been finding interesting?
Um, well, it's just like recently she's been talking about not liking the feel of certain things.
Right, well
Like
that's the thing, she's gotten a lot more just like
telling
communicating.
us, yeah,
Like she feels comfortable communicating what's going on, you know? So that's been really helpful.
yeah,
Um but I'm gonna go I as we go more into this stuff, and you guys can also check out our blogs because I will be putting out more blogs for specific stuff. But I'm gonna give tips like right now I'm looking into like tips, and so if you want to please comment anything you guys have like advice,
right.
tip. We're starting from scratch here. But I'm looking at tips of how certain things, like they said, the daily routine stuff, like how we can smooth that out for her and make it a lot more comfortable for her and stuff. And there are some things I've already found that worked. So, which is great because before, I'm just telling you, it's like you go into rabbit holes because you're like Googling, you don't know what you're trying to Google. It's like random stuff like, my kid randomly does this, and I don't know
Yeah.
why. And that just leads you into like so many different rabbit holes. And then you're
Right,
trying like
exactly.
ridiculous stuff and it's not working. So it's really nice just to have this one path that I can look at.
Yeah.
But again, I'm really finding there are not a lot of blogs or information. It's like 2015 or 2017 or something. Because people just haven't seemed to be talking about this recently. So I think that's a good thing is like we're hopefully can help people avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so anyway, again, that's the top number one, and basically how we're doing it and how, obviously we need to get better at it because figuring it out
Yeah.
as we go. But again, we're just hoping to create a community, and again, we'd love feedback, we'd love comments if you kid has this stuff, or if you think your kid might have this stuff, and like, just like anything you found that helps is helpful.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Thank you, and everybody have a great day.
Bye.